Hello, I'm Daniel Stafford from the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. Today is July 7th, 2017, and this is your Friday morning mashup. That's right, news you can use in 5 minutes or less. Trump and Putin to meet at the G20 summit. In what the Wall Street Journal has dubbed as the axis of testosterone, President Trump is scheduled to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin at the G20 summit being held in Germany. The meeting is scheduled to last roughly 35 minutes. The two world leaders are famous for their alpha male personas. Putin is known as a skilled statesman, while Trump, defines himself as a great businessman and world-class negotiator. Oleg Kalugin, a one-time KGB general, told the Daily Beast that Putin, quote, has been in power for so many years and, by character, he knows how to handle things and how to outsmart others, including presidents of the United States. Michael McFaul, a former U.S. ambassador to Russia, wrote in the Washington Post that Trump's goal for the meeting should be to demonstrate that he's a tough negotiator, committed to pursuing American interests, and one that is not willing to offer concessions simply to win Putin's praise. There is a list of issues ranging from Syria to Iran to Ukraine and now North Korea following Pyongyang's test this week of a missile capable of striking the U.S. Derek Chollet, Executive Vice President and Senior Advisor for Security and Defense Policy at the German Marshall Fund, said, quote, I expect an Olympic level of macho posturing between these two leaders. The big thing to watch will be what Putin asks for and what he offers in return, and whether there's a sense of receptivity on the president's part. In other news, the CDC has issued a warning not to eat this. That's right, the CDC has issued a warning not to eat your own placenta after you give birth. True, there's no scientific evidence that eating your own placenta has any benefits, but this does not keep people from making videos of them consuming their placentas. However, a report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has now suggested that not only is eating your placenta pointless, it may also be dangerous for your child. In the report, the CDC says that health officials believe placenta capsules may have caused an infection in a baby in Portland, Oregon. Quote, placenta ingestion has recently been promoted to postpartum women for its physical and psychological benefits. Although scientific evidence to support this is lacking, the center warns in its report. They point out, quote, no standards exist for processing placenta for consumption, meaning there are no regulations to ensure safety. The placenta encapsulation process does not, per se, eradicate infectious pathogens. Thus, placenta capsule ingestion should be avoided. The language of emojis. Tucker Carlson sat down with Mike Rowe to talk about the recent edition of emojis. The recent editions, that is, of emojis. Teenagers across the country are excited, Carlson began. I sense this is bad. I can't articulate why. Mike Rowe said that we, quote, started with hieroglyphics, and it appears we may have gone full circle. And while he admitted that he couldn't whip up much righteous indignation over emojis, they still trouble him. There are hundreds of these things, he elaborated, and they've seemed to assume every possible expression. Every nuance of feeling seems to now be accessible in this endless pile of emojis. But now we have to choose which ones to use. It does seem like they're bypassing language, Carlson reacted and asked Rowe why people aren't choosing the English language instead. Rowe theorized that the rising popularity of emojis has something to do with, quote, the general assault on conventional norms of work. You have to ask regarding emojis, what's next? I mean, just grunts? Interpretive dance? He joked. Interesting. Wow. And that's your Friday morning mashup. News you can use in 5 minutes or less. If you'd like any more of this, stuff like this, tune in every Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Stafford Voice.